said it was about the car, and Adam Walters said it was about the car.
His shock departure follows an investigation by 7 News into how Mr Campbell was using his ministerial car to visit a sex club in the Premier's eastern suburbs electorate of Heffron.
Please note the headline there, clearly it was about the car. Well, of course, within hours, the inference that New South Wales Transport Minister David Campbell was misusing taxpayer dollars by using his ministerial car for private purposes was blown apart. The New South Wales Minister's Office Handbook says,
"Cars and drivers may be used for official and private purposes. Office holders may drive themselves whenever they choose."
By the next morning on Sydney's 2UE, even Adam Walters agreed it wasn't about the car.
He was within his rights to drive his car there, wasn't he?
Absolutely, there's no question about that.
No question. So what was the public interest in ruining David Campbell's political career and exposing the secret private life he'd guarded for 25 years? Well, Seven had a couple of fallback excuses. And one thing that nobody's remarked on so far is just how carefully it had prepared the ground for one of them. Let's look at the chronology. According to Adam Walters, he first heard rumours about David Campbell's double life about a year ago.
You get phone calls from people and anonymous tips. There was one such tip from a reader who recognised Mr Campbell from television and said that he had seen him in a bathhouse.
Right.
This didn't have any relevance at all.
No relevance at all, remember that?
Until the opposition hammered Campbell in the Parliament about his whereabouts on the night of the F3 debacle back on April 12. That was the political issue which triggered our investigations into what he was up to.
The F3 debacle was caused by a serious accident on the main freeway north out of Sydney. The authorities failed to activate emergency plans promptly, and thousands waited in jams for up to 12 hours. But in fact, the opposition hadn't hammered Campbell in Parliament about his whereabouts that night for almost a month before Seven captured its now infamous surveillance footage outside a gay sauna in Sydney.
The minister had been in Ken's at Kensington for more than 2 hours on Tuesday night.
Tuesday night. Yet Seven didn't air its explosive footage until almost 48 hours later on Thursday evening. So what happened on Wednesday? Well, Adam Walters was busy on a story that would put the F3 issue back in the news. It was based on a report obtained by the opposition under Freedom of Information.
It's a document the government tried to bury, an anatomy of the F3 debacle on April 12.
They were desperate to cover this up.
Interestingly, Shadow Roads Minister Andrew Stoner gave the report exclusively to Adam Walters. It blamed agency confusion and technical problems for the traffic chaos. It didn't lay any blame at the door of the minister, but it did allow Walters to revive the issue of his whereabouts.
The opposition is still demanding to know the Transport Minister's role in the chaos.
He has not explained to the satisfaction of the Parliament or the public precisely what he was doing during the whole course of this fiasco.
The next afternoon, Andrew Stoner again asked in Parliament what Campbell was doing as the F3 clogged up. Then Seven confronted the minister with its gay sex club footage and he resigned. And that evening, Walters had his second public interest justification all lined up.
Revelations of his double life came as the opposition applied more pressure on the minister to explain his movements on the night of the F3 traffic chaos.
Next morning, Adam Walters was able to leave it to others to draw conclusions.
The night of the F3 debacle, the implication in what you're saying is that the suspicion is that he may have been, in this club on that night?
John, there's no imputation. We deal with facts. My opinion doesn't matter one bit. The fact is, he was in Parliament yesterday, as he has been in recent weeks, under 5.
Later that day, the government released phone records which appear to confirm that between 6 p.m. and 10:15 on April the 12th, Campbell was either in his office or his flat and in constant touch with his officials. We asked Andrew Stoner several questions which he didn't answer, but he did write this.
My interest in this matter relates only to the former minister's handling of the F3 fiasco. I have no comment to make on the issue of David Campbell and his personal life.
Let's deal briefly with Seven's other public interest justifications. One was in its original story.
Since 1999, Mr Campbell has campaigned strongly and successfully as a family man in his Wollongong seat of Kira. He sends constituents Christmas cards featuring his children and wife who is battling cancer.
As Adam Walters frequently put it next morning,
It's about pretense, it's about integrity, it's about character.
Funny that when he first heard rumours about Campbell's private life, Adam Walters says he thought they had no relevance until the F3 issue arose. David Campbell has stayed with his wife and kids for more than 30 years. Whatever his private conflicts, it seems to me he's entitled to claim he's been a family man. And lastly, of course, there's the issue of the risks Campbell's double life exposed him to.
It becomes a debate about the circumspection of a politician who has been on the board of the New South Wales Crime Commission, who has been the New South Wales Police Minister.
Or, as 7 News boss Peter Meakin put it,
a minister who carries on like this is very much open to, the danger of blackmail.
Well, yes, that's true, except Campbell was no longer police minister, and Seven had no evidence that he'd ever been blackmailed. Unusually, opinion writers from across the political spectrum have criticised Seven's decision to air the story.
Outdated. Seven fails on public interest.
Disgrace for the man and the media.
Adam Walters said of that attack by the Australians Imre Salozinski,
That's a matter for debate. Clearly, he seems to be in the minority.
No, he's not, Adam. He's in the majority, even of your own viewers.
A 7 News poll found 57% of people believe a politician's private life should not be made public.
Let's leave the last word to Seven's veteran News and Public Affairs Director, Peter Meakin.
Do you regard this as a high point in New South Wales political reporting?
I think when it comes to handing out Walkley Awards, we probably won't get one for this. Am I proud that we've done the story? Yes, I am.
Nothing like taking pride in your work.